Hello, and welcome to another Contemplative Living, where we talk about concepts to bring contemplation into our everyday lives. So, Spirit once said to me, consciousness causes a sense of separation. The light shows us there's a true interconnection of every being. So, what we're saying here is that we are all interconnected. But many times our physical consciousness, our physical presence sometimes makes us feel like we're separate individuals trying to carve our way through life. And that's what life feels like. But we know that the separation is an illusion because we are interconnected and a worldwide family. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So let's get to it.
Welcome to Contemplative Living, where we view contemplations for the week to have a better understanding of our spiritual paths. This is Contemplative Living with Dave Bennett, contemplations and reflective meditations.
All right, so today we're talking about being a worldwide family. You know, sometimes we don't feel like it, right? I mean, in all the chaos that is happening in the world today and seems to continually be happening, even if we look back historically, there's a lot of chaos in the world of humanity. But we need to take a look at that and recognize that we are one. We are one, and we are a family. We're a worldwide family. And once we start to work toward that, we can start to create the change that we wish to see. So we must pay attention to the actual state of our existence. We are a worldwide family. So how do we do this? We start to pay attention. Pay attention. It's as simple as that. It's mindfulness. It's being present. It's staying in our true nature, connecting to our true nature. How do we do that? Well, of course, we create a practice. We create a practice of stillness, of bringing that into our daily life. I like to practice daily in the morning. It helps me to center and to take that first step out into my world in a more connected and focused way of living. So when we do that, we see that we're not alone. We're not alone. We're connected to something greater, something so much bigger than ourselves. And by cultivating skillful attitudes of mind, we respond to more of life with awareness and wisdom. So, cultivating skillful attitudes that are peaceful, that are compassionate, attitudes that help us help each other. When we bring these attitudes into our everyday interactions, we get more out of life. It's like we're squeezing all the juice out of life. It's one of my favorite sayings, is to squeeze all the juice out of life. And it brings us that greater awareness. When we are acting from our core nature, our true nature, when we're moving from that center within our being that is connected to our higher consciousness, then we're connected to the greater consciousness of all. And with that connection, we approach life and we interact with life with a greater awareness. And with that, within that awareness is wisdom. Sit down on your cushion and accept the natural state of your existence. Accepting our existence is crucial. That's the first step. Acceptance of who we are, and that, hey, we're all human. We all have work that we need to do on ourselves. But when we come to accept this is who I am right here, right now, then we can move forward and we can bring ourselves into all of our interactions. So see the vital part of your collective. Let's start over again. See, the vital part of our collective struggle is to become conscious. So as we accept who we are, that's the first step in awakening our consciousness to the greater all, is by accepting who we are and where we are. And knowing that the struggles that we go through and that we're not alone. We're not alone in this. That we are all interconnected. And when we see our true nature, when we connect to our own true nature, we see that, all of us have that within us. And with that recognition, we can then expand our awareness to understand that everyone walking on this planet has a connection to their true nature. That's the seed that lets us know and grow that tree of awareness that we are a worldwide family. Oppose the forces of ignorance, hatred, and desire within to clearly see we are a worldwide family. So we want to oppose our own ignorance at many times when we have that clouded focus because we're so swept up in the circumstances that we allow hatred and desire to kind of permeate into our emotions, and we get swept away with that. But to oppose that and look at things clearly, rise above the circumstances, see what's really happening. It doesn't mean that you have to agree with it. It just means that you have to understand what is truly happening, and to dissolve away the ignorance and dissolve away the stories and the misconceptions that we just naturally jump to. As humans, we love a good story. And a lot of times we create that fiction within our own mind. And that is the danger, because then we sink deeper and deeper away from our own collective consciousness. When we start to believe a story that is just pure fiction, then we are creating our own ignorance. What we need to do is rise above the circumstances and look at things clearly. And that dispels the ignorance, that dispels that fiction, and allows us to act clearly in what we want to do. So we use our focus and awareness of reality for humanity. So once we've risen above the circumstances and we're seeing clearly, we have that focus and we've worked on our awareness into a greater awareness, then we can interact in our own way. It can be very simple, just our interactions in our daily life. We can focus that awareness and our attention and our interactions for the betterment of humanity. And I hope you come to realize, and I hope you bring it into your daily practice, this focus that we are a worldwide family. Because once we start to accept that, And once we start to realize that the only differences is in the way we live our lives, and that we are all coming from the same source, then we can start to recognize each other as human beings, not us versus them, and that we can work together to create a better living for everyone and for this world that we live upon. I hope you have a blessed week. Namaste.